Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2022 Ford Ranger, we're going to be checking out the Roadmaster Nighthawk Tow Bar. Before we get too carried away, talking about the tow bar, I figured it'd be useful just to kind of refresh ourselves on the main parts that we're going to need to flat tow our Ranger down the road in the first place. There's going to be a total of 5 main components that you're going to need. First one is the base plate. That's going to provide us with a solid and reliable attachment point. That way we can hook our tow bar up. Tow bar is going to be that second part, and this is going to be the physical link that actually connects the front of our truck to the back of our motorhome. Third main part will be safety cables, and those are just there in the event of an unlikely disconnect. They're going to keep everything paired together. Fourth main component will be your tow bar wiring, and what this is going to do is transfer lighting functions from the back of your coach to the back of your truck, keeping you safe and legal. And last but not least, the fifth main component will be a supplemental braking system. And what this is going to do is apply the brakes in your Ranger whenever you hit the brakes in your motorhome, bringing you to a more complete and predictable stop. There's 2 other parts that I always like to recommend for the Ranger as well. One of them is called a battery charge line kit. And what that's going to do is essentially trickle charge or maintain your truck's battery whenever you're flat towing it. And that's necessary in a sense because your supplemental braking system uses power from the Ranger's battery, and over time it can deplete the energy in the battery and leave you stranded with a dead battery. And something else I recommend is what's called a brake light relay. And what that's going to do with how the Ranger's set up, let's say if you're all hooked up and you're making a turn, let's say you got your left turn signal on at a stop sign. So the back of your truck, it should have a brake light on one side and the left turn signal going on the other side. Without the brake light relay, the turn signal is overridden. So the back of the truck would just have brake lights on, and then your motorhome would have a turn signal going. It's just confusing, and it's not the right way to do things. So having a brake light relay will solve that issue and let people around you know what's going on. That out of the way though, when it comes to picking out a tow bar, it's a really important decision. It's responsible for a lot of the work. It's going to help determine how well your vehicle is going to track or pull behind the motorhome. You want something that is easy to use, lightweight, and so on. And this is one of the more premier ones, for sure. One of my favorites. Has a lot of cool features about it. One of them being it's really long. Okay, and so that's going to help increase the distance in between your motorhome and your Ranger. And generally speaking, the more distance, the better. It helps it pull straighter and stay more true. And this one's also going to have an 8,000 pound weight capacity too, so it's a little more on the heavy duty side. And my thought is with that, it's probably going to absorb some of that road shock and be able to handle bumps and potholes a little bit better, keeping the Ranger, a little more square and riding smoothly. The tow bar is also going to be a non-binding type, and honestly, regardless on what one you end up choosing, something I highly recommend is getting one that is non-binding, like this one. So what can happen when you're flat towing your vehicle down the road and you get to where you're going, since the arms kind of lock in, a lot of times it can be really challenging to actually disconnect from your base plate because they'll be rock solid, And if that happens, with this tow bar or any other non-binding types, you can pull this lever, it'll release that tension and make it really easy to disconnect. Speaking of disconnecting and connecting, this is a direct connect type, so super easy. I'll just pull the pin out, and that's really all there is to it. I mentioned this is lightweight, definitely more lightweight than the majority of the tow bars on the market. A lot of it's made from aluminum, so it's not going to rust, and we have that weight saving. So you're not going to be bent over, trying to hold up a super heavy tow bar. It just makes it a lot more manageable to line up and everything else. So this particular one will work with the Roadmaster base plates, but Roadmaster also has these exact tow bars that just have different ends on them that'll allow you to pair up to Blue Ox base plates as well if that's your particular situation. Something else pretty cool this does, it has some LEDs built into the side of it, and so when your lights are on the motorhome, these are going to illuminate, And as we all know, a lot of distracted drivers on the road today. So this will just help kind of indicate to people, hey, something's going on here, you know, just makes people a little more aware. Something that I like personally is the tow bar is going to come with some other components, right? So it's going to have safety cables included, as well as the umbilical cable for your electrical stuff. And that just helps simplify things, right? You know they're going to be the right length, the right type, the right weight capacities, and so on. So kind of takes some of the guesswork out, if you will. It'll also come with a 6-way round connector plug that this will, you know, be able to plug into. So for those of you getting a whole setup here and you're looking for tow bar wiring or diode wiring, the kit that you would need if you use this tow bar is just the bare bones kit, what I like to call it. It'll just come with the bundle of wiring and the diodes and some ins and outs. You don't need to get a kit that comes with the cable because, well, your tow bar would already have it. If you're looking for a tow bar that's a little more in the middle of the road, if you will, one that I really like is the Roadmaster All-Terrain. It has kind of some of the essential features, you know, it's a nice tow bar that you can't go wrong with. But when it comes to this one, it's premier and a really good choice, one of my favorites for sure. And that'll finish up our look of the Roadmaster Nighthawk tow bar on our 2022 Ford Ranger.